All right, good morning. My name is Stephanie, and we're here with PD Active for a neuro-movement class for Parkinson's. Today, you are going to need lots of floor space as normal. We do a lot of floor work, and then we also need a release ball or some sort of like tennis ball, dog chew ball, something that we're going to use to work a little bit of the hamstrings. We had a special request to loosen up hamstrings. So just have that off to the side for now. And we'll start laying on our backs. And it's funny, I've been teaching with colored socks lately so that you can see my feet a little bit more. It's like, okay, where's the end part of our body? Okay, so we're gonna go on our backs, make sure that your feet are flat on the ground and your knees are bent. And just let your knees fall from one side to the other. This is sort of our holding pattern, our warm-up sequence while we wait for everyone in the crew to get settled on the ground. Bring your arms out in a T. And as your knees go to the right, take your head and eyes to the left. And as your knees go to the left, take your head and eyes to the right. So the head and eyes are moving in opposite direction of your knees. Now, if we want to bring in our visual system a little bit more here, we're going to take our eyes and look and focus in on that gaze. Focus your gaze in on something that's to the right side of the room, and then focusing in on something that's to the left side of the room. So let's pick something that's, a couple feet off of our fingertips. So we're working more of a distance as we go from right to left. And then we'll go ahead and look directly at our thumbnail from right to left. So looking at something a little bit closer as we switch. And then move to the far object or the far focal point for a few repetitions. Good. And then go to the near focal point. Great. Nice. All right, go ahead and send them. So we have both legs out straight. We're going to point the feet and then dorsiflex the feet, point the feet and dorsiflex the feet. We're going to touch the feet towards your shins. Add a little trunk curl with it. So add that position there. We're going to take our eyes down to the cheekbones and then nod the chin down. So you bring your chin towards your chest. And pull down really slow. Oh, I'm breaking up a bit. My microphone, is my microphone just going in and out? It's like every now and then. It's kind of every now and then. Okay, let's try this. Now I'm off my microphone now, but is it too echoey? It's okay like this? Okay, let's do that then. No microphone, but then sometimes when I face away, it gets quieter, but that's all good. All right, let's reset. Feet are flexed up. Feet are flexed up. We draw the head, eyes down, chin drops down, curl the head and shoulders up off the mat a little bit and look at your toes. Yep. And then as you curl down, point your feet and go in the opposition of what you just did for your ankles. So dorsiflex the feet, draw the eyes down, the chin in, curl the head and shoulders up. So you're getting shortness in what's called the front line. You're going to squeeze your quads and then release down, point the toes, and maybe even bring your eyes up to whatever is overhead or above you. We're going to go flex the feet, eyes drop down, curl the head and shoulders up. Yes. Release down, point the toes, and maybe even bring the eyes up past your eyebrows. Let's go 2 more of those. Flexing, curling, connecting to your front line, and then pointing. As you drop back, the eyes come up, you're connecting into a bit more of your back line. Last one, chin in, flex the feet, curl up. And release and come down, point the toes, and looking through your eyebrows. Very nice. Bring your feet flat on the mat. Good. Palms facing up, collarbones wide. Press your hips up towards the ceiling. Here we are in that first bridge.
Yep, articulate the spine coming down, so setting your back of your ribs down to the mat, then your mid back, then your low back, then the top of the pelvis, and then your tail, and release the tail out. Excellent. Press your hips up again, no articulation, nothing special, just press. And then articulate down the top of the ribs, middle back, low back, top of your pelvis, and then your tail. And again, press back up, nothing special on the way up. Articulating on the way down, ribs, mid back, low back, pelvis, and tail. One more time here, press up. Articulate down slow. One vertebrae at a time. We lay down the spine on the mat. Nicely done. We're going to bring left leg out long. Right knee in tabletop. Grab behind your right thigh, dorsiflex your foot. We're going to push your heel up towards the ceiling. Good. Point your foot and bend the knee back into your tabletop. Flex the foot and kick. Point the foot and then pull down. Nice. Flex the foot, kick. Point the foot and pull down. A couple more. Flex, push, point, draw, flex, kick, point, draw. Nice work. Two more. Kick through the heel. And last one. And draw. Beautiful. We're going to flex that foot and kick up towards the ceiling and hold here. Now point and flex the foot as it's up towards the ceiling. Point and flex the foot. Top of the foot towards your shins, reaching the heel up towards the ceiling. And again, you're going to feel that tension through the back of your hamstrings there. We'll go two more. Yep, and then go 6 ankle circles in each direction. Rolling in a big circle, try to scoop all the way. Each corner of that circle gets a little sweep, and then switch the direction of your ankle circles. Again, getting big circles, try to give every corner of that circle a little bit of attention. And I realize that circles don't have corners, but use that as a metaphor. Flex the foot and then lower the leg all the way down. Good. We're going to stay on that right leg. That right leg is going to be a focus. Bend your right knee. Slide your left leg out just a little bit and then bring your arms out in a T. We're going to push through your right foot to let your hip roll up and over to the left. So it's as if you're coming over onto your left hip. Yeah, nice. Everyone got that. And I don't feel like I explained that pretty clearly, but I think everyone got it from the video feed. Press the hip up and over and then roll back down. Nice. Now we're going to try to keep the shoulders flat on the ground. It's going to end up being a bit of a stretch and rotation in your low back. Obviously, if it doesn't feel good for you, just work it to the point that it feels okay, and then work back down. Yeah. Nice. Pushing through the ground with that right foot. Dig your big toes in. Push off. One more time. Pushing off. And release. Beautiful. Bring both legs back in, back to the starting point, and wiggle them out. Let's do that same series on the left side. Left leg comes into tabletop, grab behind your thigh. Flex your foot and kick your heel up towards the ceiling. Point the foot and then drag it down. Flex, kick, point and lower. Flex, kick, point and lower. Flex, kick, point and lower. Nice job. Flex, kick, point and lower. We got 3 more. And 2 more. Keep the leg up towards the ceiling and hold. Flex, point that foot a few more times, just holding it up towards the ceiling. Yes. Squeezing your kneecap with your thigh muscle, your top thigh muscle, your quad. Kneecap. Let's go 6 circles with your ankle. Scooping all the way around. Get the full perimeter of that circle. Switch the direction. Yeah. Nice job. And then you can bend that foot down towards the mat. Slide your right foot out to the side just a little bit, arms out into a T. Pushing through your left big toe, roll your hip over so that you're almost rolling onto that right hip. And then nice and slow, roll yourself down to the mat. Again, push through the left big toe as you roll over, and then roll back down. Reaching up and over. And then back through. We'll go 4 more. These little bridge rolls, they feel so good on the low back. At least they do for me, hopefully they do for you. Push, push. 2 more. Roll. Yeah. And last one. Push off and roll. You got it. And return. Bend your knees in towards your chest, grab behind your thighs, and roll the pelvis up towards your nose. Little low back stretch. You can start to get some momentum by kicking your legs up more over your face. Yeah. And then start to roll yourself up to a seated position. Great. We're going to use our release ball, and there's all sorts of release balls out there in the world. So let's see how the one you chose today works for you. We're going to place the ball underneath your knee pit. There. Hopefully mine's pretty bright so you can see. And you can have your hands behind you if that helps you sort of get into a tall posture through your low back. So I do want you extended in your low back. If it's hard to sit up tall without your hands, please use that option behind you. Okay. It's important that you keep this low back in extension or in neutral so that we continue to put the hamstring on stretch, which again was the request that we got from one of the participants today. So right here, we're going to just roll the ball underneath that knee pit. Now, there may be a tender spot somewhere along the way. You can kind of pause in that spot a little bit, but I wouldn't go to a point where your body like freezes up or seizes up. The whole point is that we relax the muscle, and if we put it through too much torture and too much pain, we may have the opposite reaction there. Okay. So I'm strumming the fibers in the back of my knee with the ball by sliding my heel right and left. And again, making sure that you are in some sort of neutral or extended posture in your low back. Good. All right, place that ball right underneath the knee pit. So just below the knee pit. And that's going to be at the top of your calf muscle, your gastrocnemius. Okay, you can be right at the top. Okay. From here, we're going to squeeze the kneecap so that you are essentially pressing down into the ball by squeezing the kneecap, and then release the kneecap. Squeeze the kneecap and push down into the ball, and then release. Continue working on that motion. Now, if you can dorsiflex the foot while you do this, even better. So it's as if you're sliding your heel long, dorsiflex the foot, and almost like kind of what we did at the beginning of class, like shortening the front line of your leg and lengthening the back line. Yeah, good. Now when I do this, because we're working the nerves and the vascular structures behind the knee, sometimes I feel a flush of heat, like I've just opened up the blood vessels, the blood channels, and now I have a lot of heat gushing in, blood but gushing into my lower leg. And that's what I'm experiencing right now. So if you feel sort of a change in like temperature or almost like electricity, that doesn't feel bad, then we're in the right direction here, getting that nerve to release and those blood vessels. Let's go 2 more, dorsiflexion. Very nice. And then release. Okay, take the ball out and have both legs just lay on the ground. Dorsiflex your feet and see if one side seems to lay a little bit flatter than the other.
And hopefully the side that you just did, you feel it sort of almost like a little bit flatter on the ground. Maybe your knee can get a bit straighter. Okay. And then again, try that if you hadn't already, try it again with the low back. Okay. I certainly feel a difference. I hope you do too. Let's do the other side. Okay, so we're going to start with the ball more underneath your knee. And we're going to strum. So the legs sliding right and left. And you can spend a little bit longer time in a certain area if you'd like. Oh yeah, it's a different spot for sure. Yep, still trying to hold a little bit of extension in your low back and your spine. And of course, you can pause in any sweet spots that need a little bit more love, but don't spend too long in those spots. We don't want to piss anything off back there. We want to work through it. And then we're going to place that ball just below the knee pit. If it moves, or if you need to adjust it again. And then we're going to squeeze the kneecap and press your leg down into the ball and then release. Okay. Squeeze the kneecap and press your leg into the ball. As a byproduct, your heel may lift, but don't focus on lifting your foot. That may happen as a byproduct of squeezing your quad. Okay. And then, as we talked about before, we're going to dorsiflex the foot and try to stretch your heel longer on your mat as you're pressing down into the ball. And then you can kind of release everything. Squeeze the kneecap, reach the heel long, and then release. Squeeze the kneecap, reach the knee long, and then release. We'll go for 2 more of those. Squeeze the kneecap, press the knee long. Release. 1 more time. Squeeze and reach that heel. And then release all the way out. Okay. We're going to take the ball off to the side and then let both legs just go flat on the mat. See if you feel a difference. Maybe your knee feels a little bit flatter or closer to the ground. Okay. Lower yourself all the way down to the mat, leg back again. And let's just do a quick check-in with that hamstring stretch that we did at the beginning of class. Just check in, kick your leg up towards the ceiling and see how that feels. Does it feel any different from the first set that we did? And you can even do a little ankle circle, flex, extend. Yeah, switch to the other side, check in. Like, okay, did that change the sensation of the stretch here? Do I feel like I can get my knee a little bit straighter? Is a little less kind of nervy. We'll go 2 more. And last one. Good. Bend your knees and rock and roll yourself to seated. Okay, so when you request hamstring, I'm going to go hard with the hamstring. So here we go. We're going to keep going. The hamstring is what's called a 2-joint muscle. So it crosses both at the hip joint, attaches to your sits bones, and then it also comes down and attaches to your lower leg. So you can stretch your hamstring by straightening out your knee, or you can stretch it by pulling your knee in towards your chest. You can do both at the same time by really pulling the knee into the chest and straightening out your leg. Okay, that would be like stretching it across 2 joints. We addressed the nerves behind the knee to help with sort of the area of the hamstring at the knee, but now let's do it more at the sit bone. Okay, depending on the hardness, the density of the ball that you have today, this could be either really enjoyable or not so enjoyable, but let's just see how it goes with whichever ball you chose. We're going to grab that ball and you're going to place it. Find, if you want to use your fingers first, you can find your butt bones, your sit bones, okay? And then you're going to place the ball just forward of that. Place the ball just forward of that. And then you can straighten the leg out. Okay, now we're gonna do just a little, these are like micro circles or oscillations over that ball. Again, the ball should not be on the bony point, it should be right in front of that joint. Yeah, there we go, now I found it. All right, and then you may even feel like the tension going down your leg. That's how you know you have the nerve. Now we don't want to sit on that nerve. You don't want to just sit on that nerve. That nerve doesn't like pinching or compression, but you do want to just roll around the area. Okay, so you're going to get like on the nerve and then sort of off the nerve. And I do this by a little bit of rotation in the hip, and you can motor that rotation with dorsiflexion and plantar flexion at the foot. Okay, so I can kind of like pair all of that together. Yeah. And contorted faces are almost like a requisite for when you do this nerve stuff. Cool. All right. And then let's just go ahead and take the ball out and sit down. I know that was fast, but I don't know about you, but the perception in my brain, which again is funny, like neuroplasticity works quick. The perception is that my sit bones are sinking in a hole, which I always think is fun and interesting, and that relative newness is good for the brain to recognize. Let's go ahead and switch to the other side. So again, find the sit bone with your fingers. And then the ball can go right in front of that bone. Yeah. And you can move that ball around to find the spot. You may not find it right away. Okay. Yeah, see, like this one for me, I needed to go a little bit more to the side. And I just found it. And then I feel sort of that tension all the way down through my calf. All right, so we're gonna move around either in circles or kind of an oscillating side to side. We can add the pointing and flexing through the foot. Takes a bit of coordination. I had to figure that out on this side. Yeah. Nice work. And again, you don't want to sit on that nerve. The nerve doesn't like the compression. So move on and off of it, move around it. Yeah. Good. And then we can take the ball out from underneath. Let's do that check that we had at the beginning again. Kick, flex the heel up, and bend. Did that get better, worse, or about the same? We've done this now 3 times, so you have 3 data points. If it got better every time, then maybe you need to do, both the knee nerve release and the hip nerve release. If it got worse with the hip one, then just do the knee one. Switch sides if you haven't already. Or you went a little bit too hard on that nerve. Now I'm not so happy. Yeah. Last one. Cool. Nice job. Bend your knees in, rock and roll yourself up to seated. We're gonna cross the legs over. Note which leg you have in front. Roll over the top of your shins. Uncross, narrow the knees, and then sit down. So you're gonna sit bum onto your heels, okay? And you have ideally laces down. So you're here. We're gonna come forward, untuck, or I guess tuck the toes underneath. And I sometimes need to reach back and make sure that my pinky toe is tucked, and I've got a broke pinky toe. And then you're gonna sit on top of your heels like this.
And what's kind of nice is depending on where your butt lands on your heels for either of those, yeah? Let's switch back to the other one. You can almost get like what the ball did, like on that sit bone, yeah? And kind of wiggle around. Go ahead and transition, toes underneath. Tuck under. Last two. We're stretching the bottoms of your feet and getting a little bit of kind of pressure point, trigger point with the heels. One more time, coming to heel set, the toes underneath. Yeah. All right, making sure that those big toes are grounded into the ground. Let's bring your hands onto your hips. From here, belt buckle, we're gonna push the belt buckle forward, driving off of the toes, and then sitting yourself down over the heels. Okay, so make sure here that there's not as much leaning forward to bring the hips forward, but the torso is staying pretty much vertical the whole time, and then pretty much vertical. Okay, it's gonna put a little bit more work in the quads, which is a good thing. Quads oppose the muscles in the back of the leg. This is the front of the leg muscles oppose the muscles in the back of the leg. Figure that. So by strengthening the legs in front, we can get more stretch of the legs, of the muscles in the back. Let's go two more. Yep, and one more time, hold up in the tall kneel position. Untuck your toes and shake the heels out. Great. Arms forward like a zombie. Squeeze your thighs together roughly. We're gonna lean back. This is called thigh stretch. Try not to let your hips break. We're gonna lean back to keep the hips underneath us and then press through your shins to come up. Yeah. Yes. Yes, that's normal. You're doing great. Stay with it. Shake it out if you cramp up. And then join back in when you're ready. Good. We're just gonna lean back. You're gonna feel a lot of tension through the front of the leg, maybe a little cramping in the back, and then push. Yes, right? Because you're strengthening those quad muscles and allowing those hamstrings to cramp a little bit. Yes, let's go two more. Lean back, and pull. Nice work. One more time, lean back and pull. Excellent job. Bring yourself down to the mat. All right, hands are next to your shoulders. I think we did this one last week. Tuck your tail underneath you and draw your navel up off the mat. We're gonna bring right heel to right thumb. Hamstring curl. And we're gonna take that right away a step further. You're gonna push off of your, I'm sorry, let's see. Did I say right heel? Right heel to right thumb. So you're gonna push off your left hand and look towards your foot. And then return the foot and return the chest. Okay, you're gonna push off, bend to the other leg, so heel to bum. Look over that shoulder to see if you can get a visual of your foot, and then center your chest and lower the heel down. Other side, heel to bum, push off, look over your shoulder. So you get extension, try to look over your shoulder, not underneath your armpit, and return. Go ahead and work through that a few times. There's some pressure through the heel of your hand, some work in your shoulders to give you that height. And of course, flexibility and strength in your back. Go, we'll go for two more. And last one. Good. From here, abs in, push back, hips over heels. Some sort of restorative pose, child pose, frog stretch. I like to sway, keep it dynamic. And I know a couple weeks ago, we talked about working on pushing motion. So we're just going to take a little bit of hiatus on the hamstring work and work on some upper body pushing. Pull your body forward and negative, I call it a negative push-up. Lower your body slow. Slow, slow. Good. Now keep the knees down. Exhale, abs draw in, and then push away and draw the hips back with your heels and sway. Pull your body forward, come into your little short plank on your knees so the hips are dropped. Negative push-up, super slow on the way down. Take a moment, recollect, abs in, push off, hips over heels. We're gonna pick up the pace a little bit, so we're gonna come forward, negative push-up down, push off, sit back. Once you get the pattern, you don't need to look at me anymore, yeah? You're gonna keep your eyes pretty much on the front part of your mat the whole time. So you get a little bit of visual and vestibular work as you're going through the motion of pushing the hips back. Here we go, drive and reach. Nice work. 2 more. And then last one. Excellent. Great job. Bring it all the way down. Elbows are gonna pull underneath. You can interlace the fingers if you'd like. We have our elbows underneath now, yeah. Push the ground away and draw your abs up off the ground a little bit, so you're sort of in this plank position. Now, in this position, your shoulders are wide. Your thighs are still on the ground. You just kind of collect it up in the front line a bit. And then lower yourself down, sort of get sagging in your abs and your shoulders. Abs draw in, push the ground away, collarbones are wide. Reach through the crown of your head and open up your chest. Nice work, team, and then lower down. Push the ground away, open through, eyes up, collarbones wide. And then lower down. We're gonna do that one more time, push up and stay up. Okay, we've managed this skill of like driving the ground away, keeping the collarbones wide, yes? Let's add the hamstring curl or the heel to bum kick. So if we go heel to bum, dorsiflex the feet, I want active feet. Keep your abdominals up. And then release that foot down. Other side, heel to bum, keep your abdominals up. And then return. Pushing the ground away, we're just adding in this hamstring curl as a way to distract ourselves. Distract us from the work that should still be happening up top. So it's a little bit of a test. Can you maintain the work in the shoulders and do this little bob through the knees? Okay, we're gonna go for 4 more, 3 more. Push the ground away, 2, and last one. Nice work. Rest all the way down, bend both knees up, and what's called window wash the shins. So you're just gonna let the feet go right and left. Very good. All right, let those legs go back out, push yourself up. We're gonna come into a hands and knees position here. So shoulders are stacked over your wrists and knees are stacked underneath your hips. Okay, widen out through your fingers. I'm not gonna go through the whole wrist prep today. Bring your knees roughly closer together so that it almost feels like you're in a tripod. You have one hand, and then both knees are together, kind of in that third stance. Left leg is going to kick backwards and hover over the mat. Just come forward so you can see my foot against a white background. There we go. So it's just going to hover over the mat here. I want your thigh to be roughly in parallel with your spine. Okay, so don't let the leg get lazy. Don't let the leg be crazy high. It's in parallel. Okay, bring that knee back in. Sweep the other leg out, reaching up. Dorsiflex the foot so you're strong. Return the knee in. Same thing, other side. Minimize the weight shifting, minimize the drama that happens when you bring one leg in. The responsibility changes for the other leg, and then we float. Good. Abs are in, reach back. Always dorsiflexed. Shorten up your front line. Let's go 2 more. Yep, last one. Beautiful. Sit the hips back, bring it up to tall kneel. Roll out your wrists. We're going to add on to that. But the deal is, what we just did is the requisite. So if that was hard enough already and you try the new layer and you're like, this is too much, you're just going to go back to what we just did, okay? All right, bring it down, shoulders strong, knees together. Legs gonna kick out. I said that leg kicking out has to be parallel to the floor, yeah? We're gonna bring your heel up towards the ceiling. Now, when you do that, don't let the knee get droopy, okay? The thigh needs to stay parallel. You pull the heel to the bottom. Kick your leg out, you can point the foot. Flex the foot, pull the heel to the bum, and then release out straight. Good. Again, the thigh does not change its position in space. You're just moving that lower leg. So if you have a tendency to make the thigh droopy when you pull the heel in, you may have to work extra hard on lifting your thigh towards the ceiling when you bend. Yep, 3 more, please. Push, 3, 2, last one. Push the ground away, straight elbows, please. There you go, return. Sit back, real quick, wring out your wrists. That makes sense? Yeah. Switch to the other side. So bring it on down. Tripod, knees together, hands are wide. Separate your thumb and pinky. Other leg reaches back. Again, it's parallel to the floor. We're gonna bend the knee, heel to bum, point the foot, and kick it out long. Flex, pull, point, reach, flex, pull, point, reach. So again, try not to let that knee get droopy. There's definitely some proprioception required here, or you need to use some visual feedback in the mirror or reflection in the window or your own camera. Keep your eyes on that knee, make sure it doesn't get droopy. Yes, and if you see your thigh getting droopy, you need to have extra effort. Press your thigh up towards the ceiling as you bend. We're gonna go 3 more. 1, 2, and last one, 3. Beautiful. Bring the knee down, sit back, roll out your wrists. Good. Slide the hips off to the side and swing your legs forward. Roll on back to the mat. Okay, so with hamstring stuff, there needs to be both flexibility in the hamstring, yeah. So we worked the nerves to help create a message to our muscles that they don't need to be so tight. We did some dynamic stretching of the hamstring. And now we're sort of in this phase of strengthening the hamstring so that it doesn't feel like it needs to be so tight in protective mode. The stronger the muscle is, the less chronic tightness that we're going to have in that muscle. Okay, it doesn't feel like it needs to seize up and protect the joint. It can sort of be free flowing and confident, right? If we were to personify our muscles. So let's do a little bit more strengthening here. We have palms facing up, ready for our bridge. Press your hips up toward the ceiling and hold here. We're going to walk your feet out on your heels. So now you're in a longer lever of your bridge, and then walk out again. If you can sustain the bridge with an even longer lever, hold your hips up. Walk the feet back in. There's 1 step and then 2 steps to finish it out, and then hips come down. Okay, so that last one I did essentially 2 increments away from my normal bridge. So I want you to try to get maybe 2 or even now 3 increments out from your starting point. Ready? Press the hips up. We walk heel, heel. There's 1 increment. 2. Can you go 1 more? 3. Maybe 1 more. Ah! And then walk it back in. Slow. Time under tension. Yep, back to your start point and then hips down. Okay. Again, press up. Now, if you've been leading on the same foot, let's see if we can lead with the other foot. I've been stepping out with my left foot first. I'm going to do now the right foot. Yes. How straight can you get those legs while still holding hips up? Walk in, reinvest in the bridge, walk in, reinvest, walk in, and then drop down. Nice job. We're going to do 2 more sets. Here we go. Up. Walk out on the heels, dorsiflex the feet. walk out, walk out. Lengthen out that hamstring, but activate it at the same time, yeah? Good, and then in, and in, good, hips down. Now this is one of those exercises that if you have questions on it, ask me after class, okay? Here we go, last one, press up. Walk out. Walk out. Walk out. Good, get a spot as you can, hold. And then walk in. Walk in. Walk in. And rest down. Nice job. Bend the knees in. From here, we're going to do some of that rolling of your low back again. Rocking. Releasing. Start to kick your feet over your face. And if you need to look at a demo, please stop the movement, watch, and then restart while not looking at me, okay? We're gonna add in here, if you would like to, push down through the hands, pause, and then release. All right, so you can go maybe 3 kicks, 1, 2, kick the leg, push the arms down, get your knee up, and then return. And again, 3, 2, kick. Arms go down, straighten out your legs, and then roll. Let's see it. I'm gonna watch the next one. 3, 2, 1. Straighten out those legs, reach your heels. Yep, one more time. 3, 2, flex your feet, squeeze your kneecaps, everything strong that we worked on today. And then roll. Nice job. All right, roll yourself up to seated. Cross over the shins and come into high kneel. And bring yourself all the way up to a stand position. Or somehow get yourself to a stand position. I'm gonna grab water real quick. I promised water breaks, didn't I? All right. We're gonna stand at the top part of your mat. We'll be doing some standing roll down. We've worked on these in the past. If you know yourself to have like blood pressure, like orthostatic hypertension issues, or know yourself to stumble backwards, maybe do this with a wall behind you or a couch behind you. Okay, so you can just plop yourself down. Alrighty, we're gonna start here with a little check-in. Draw the chin down, similar to what we did at the beginning of class, right? We're just now in a vertical sense. We're going to keep the chin tucked and lean forward slightly into the balls of the feet. This is going to require that your feet activate. So you create a dome in the arch of your foot. And then shift back and bring your head back up on top of your spine. Okay. Roll the chin down, lean forward, feel the arches activate. Maybe you even feel this hollowing of your belly activate to sort of hold you up from stumbling forward. Shift back and bring your head up on top. And then you kind of feel this almost like when you're back on your heels, you feel disengaged. Disengaged, you're kind of like stacked in the bones. Okay. Chin draws down, shift forward into the balls of the feet, hollow out your belly. Start to roll yourself down just a little bit more. You're gonna now maybe start to feel some stretch in your low back. Still keeping weight in your feet, the forefoot and your foot active and domed. Go ahead and roll down as far as you can go. You can bend your knees just the slightest bit. Sometimes having yoga blocks, there's a target here is helpful. So if you're pretty far away from the floor at this point, maybe grab some yoga blocks or a pillow. Just notice right here the flexibility or the lack of flexibility in your hamstrings. And then nice and slow, pull yourself up. Keep your weight forward into the toes. Keep your foot domed. Tuck the tail underneath you. Keep the hollowing, and then finally the head pops up on top and you can shift into your heels. Okay, let yourself reacclimate. Sometimes there's some blood pressure stuff, some stars. Let's go again. Chin draws down, roll in, shift forward, dome the feet, peel down one vertebrae at a time. Again, doing this against the wall.
is actually quite humbling because it doesn't allow you to shift backwards at all. Nice and slow, come down to your low points and notice how your hamstrings feel here. Keep the weight shifted forward in your toes and roll your spine up. Hips come underneath you. Bring it all the way up to your stand position.
Nice work. Okay. So again, you have some data points for your roll down. We're going to do a quick drill for your ankle nerves and then see that one again. If you're laying on your back, because I know one person in this class is doing an alternate exercise, you can still do this exercise with your laying on your back. Okay. We're going to have one foot in front of you here. Make sure that that foot is in parallel. It's not turned in, not turned out, just in parallel. You're going to let the ankle roll so that the arch of your foot kind of lifts off the ground and the edge of your ankle is going towards the ground. Okay. And then flatten out your foot and the knee might come inward. We're going to roll to the edge of the foot and then let it roll flat. This isn't going to feel like much right now. Just stay with me. Be mindful that the objective of this is to get movement in this ankle joint here. So if you're doing an excessive knee wobble, maybe just put your hand on your knee and try to localize the movement at the knee, at the ankle joint. Okay. I know you're like, Steph, I don't feel anything. That's okay. You're not supposed to feel something all the time. Okay. And then we're going to go internal rotation. So rotate, not just the foot, right? We're rotating the whole thigh. So the knee is now pointed that way. And you're going to roll to that edge and then flatten. Roll to that edge and then flatten. And yeah, Carrie, you can do this right here, just with your feet on the ground there. Good. Maybe two more. Rolling to the edge and then flattening. Okay. Shake it out. Maybe do a quick little like ankle roll or top of the foot stretch. Let's try the other side. So that foot's going to step forward. Parallel. Ankle rolls out. Ankle goes flat. Ankle rolls out. Ankle goes flat. Again, you can put your hand on your knee to localize the movement at the ankle joint here. Yeah. Nice. Maybe three more there. Two. And last one. And then we'll go internal rotation. Knees pointing that way. I'm such a sucker for dogs. The dog attack on the floor. And then heels out to the side and then flatten out the foot. Heel out or ankle rolls out and then ankle rolls in. Okay. If you've ever sprained your ankle, you may feel something on that side. Like for me, I actually have less mobility in this ankle because I've sprained it. At least I have less mobility in this direction. So my nerves have like gone in protective mode and said, no, we don't want to give you a lot of availability there. Your muscles are not as strong. We're going to keep you on a short leash until I build up that strength in the ankle. Last one. Good. Okay. Let's see if that little magic nerve trick helped us at all. We're not going to change anything about the roll downs. I'm going to keep my cueing exactly the same. Nod your chin down, shift into the arches, into the ball of the foot, and create that cupping, the arch in your foot. Roll yourself down towards the mat, coming all the way through. Take notice with your hamstrings or your low back. Do they feel different? Yes or no? It's an easy yes or no question. Keep the weight shifted forward, roll your spine up, tuck the tail underneath, nice and slow, peel yourself up, head bops up on top, and rock back into your heels. Again, chin draws in, roll down. Weight shifted forward, roll through, check out the hamstrings. Can you get any further? Shift the weight forward, roll on up,
tuck the tail. Articulate the spine, pop the head up on top.
Good, we're gonna do one more. Tuck the chin, shift the weight forward, cup the foot. Roll down nice and slow. Weight is in the forefoot. Drop down, check out the hamstrings, any change. No change. Feels the same, it's worse. Take notes and then pull yourself up. Pop your head up on top and then shift the weight back. Walk around the room, do a lap. Notice any change in your gait as well. Stride, your ability to kick back behind you. That's the biggest thing I notice is the push off. I wasn't thinking about it, but I feel like I push off a little bit better, a little more active in my hamstrings. And I definitely have a good arm swing going too. Okay, bring yourself back to your mat. And just stand as you normally would, arms down by your side. Let yourself feel settled. Let your feet create roots in the ground. Feel the postural sway that comes with good movement. Feel your breath and your heartbeat, maybe a little faster. And while feeling rooted and grounded through the feet, you also feel light and lifted through your neck and your head. Take one more breath in through the nose and exhale. Nice work. Wow, different class today, yeah? Talking more about nerves and some anatomy of the hamstrings. I'd love to hear what changes you felt after I turn off the recording.